Hello, this is Sarah Hardy at the University of Maine at Farmington, and this is a video tutorial in using R and Rcmdr to do simple linear regression and correlation. So for purposes of this video, I have already selected this small data set that I called Enjoy Math, and it's a little data set. It has some 8 different countries and math scores and how much they enjoyed math, and I got this from a USA Today article that was called Nations by the Numbers, and it says a new study finds that the more students in selected nations say they enjoy math, the lower their score is on a standardized test, with a little graph that had these numbers on it. They actually got these numbers from a larger study with many more countries called Trends in International Mathematics and Science Report 2003. So, although I believe you should always graph your data before doing your analysis, just for purposes of keeping this video shorter, I'm going to start with the analysis. To do the analysis, go to Statistics and Fit Models, Linear Regression, and your response variable. So pay attention to this order because it's going to be a different order than when you graph your variables. So this is your response variable first, or your Y variable. So it's not really clear in this example which one is the response, but I'm going to say that how much they enjoy math is the explanatory, and their score is the response. And then you just say, okay. If you've ever done a regression before, it's going to come up and say that this regression model already exists. Overwrite model. Just say yes. The first time you do it, you won't get that message. Okay. And then your output will appear down in your output window. So we can see here by looking at our output that it does look like there is strong evidence of a linear or negative linear relationship between enjoying math and having a high score in math for the countries. Okay, so to do the graph, we're going to go to Graph, make Scatter Plot, and we've already made this scatter plot like this before. So now again, here where you need to be careful, this is in the reverse order of what we just did for the regression, simple linear regression. So my X variable is enjoy math, and the Y variable is math score. And I do want the least squares line, but I don't really want this other stuff. So I'm going to uncheck these boxes. And also, I'll show you a little trick up here. There's a plotting characters, and the default is a open circle. I kind of like closed circles just because, or filled solid dots because they photocopy better. So I'm going to put a 16, which is the symbol for a solid dot. And there's about 20 different plotting characters, and you can look these up online. So you can find them online just by Googling our plotting characters, or I will also put them up on my website. Okay, so I think I'm all ready to hit OK. And I get my graph here, and it does look like we have a nice linear trend. Okay, our next step is to do a residual plot, and there is no simple way of doing that with Rcmdr, so we're going to have to do that the old-fashioned way by actually typing in a command up here in our script window. Okay, so the command is plot, and for my X variable I want this enjoy math % variable, and that is in the data set enjoy math. So I actually need both of those things. So I start with enjoy math, and that is my data set, and then a $sign to separate the variable in the data set. So that was enjoy math %. Okay. A comma, and then my y variable. And my y variable is the residuals, and those are actually stored in this object up here, reg model 1. So I'm going to put that here, and then also again a $, and then resid. Okay. And I need to highlight that and then hit submit, and we'll see over here that we have a residual plot. So we always want to put a horizontal line at 0. So we can do that with this command AB line, and I'm just going to say H equals 0, and that stands for horizontal equals 0. There's several different things you can do with this AB line command. Okay, I have to highlight it, hit submit, and now I get a horizontal line at 0. Notice that, now let's say that I have it the way I want it, and I can go ahead and go back and modify and say, oh, let's say I want the same plotting characters. So I'll use a plotting character of 16, and then maybe I want to put in a title. So main equals residual plot. Okay. And then I can just highlight it again and hit submit. And there I have a newer plot. Notice you can also do this with your scatter plot command that we did earlier. You can go back and put in a title on that if you want. And then you could highlight it and resubmit it, and you would have a plot that had whatever title you wanted to put there. Now let's go back and look at this residual plot for a minute. Okay, so with such a small data set, it's really hard to tell if you have any patterns. It does look like this one seems to have a larger residual than the other ones. So let's say that I'm curious about which observation that is. Okay, so suppose we want to identify what this point is. And I'm going to suggest that at this point you save your script. So save script as, and whatever folder you want to save it in. So I'm calling it enjoy math script. And save it, and quite honestly that's because I've actually stopped and started a few times here because I've had a few problems with this next step. So always a good idea to save early and often, no matter what you're doing. Okay, so to identify that point, what I'm going to want to do here is make another graph, and I'm going to make a scatter plot and pick my x variable and my y variable and hit identify points. And this is the same thing that we actually did once before with box plots. Okay, so I'm going to hit OK. And then I'm going to get this little message here that says use left mouse to identify points, right button to exit. Okay, this message is backwards. It's the other way around. Right button to identify, left to exit. Okay, so let's say I want to identify this point right here. Okay, so that's point 2, and I could identify other points if I wanted, point 5, and so on and so forth. So let's suppose I want to see, well, how big of an effect does this point 2 have? Just for curiosity, let's go see what point 2 is. So I'm going to view my data set, and that might pop up behind your window. Oh no, it popped up, it came up right here. Okay, so observation number 2 is Japan. So let's suppose, as I said, we want to see how our regression changes if we remove that point. Okay, so I'm going to go to data. Oh, I never exited out of here, so this will cause you problems. Okay, so I want to stop. Okay. Otherwise, it's going to keep waiting for me to identify points, and eventually it will stop working if you keep doing that, as I have just learned from experience. Okay, so I'm going to go to my active data set, and there's lots of different things we can do. Now I'm going to look for, okay, here's one, remove rows from active data set. So it says indice or quoted name of row to remove. So I want to remove row 2, and I don't want to rewrite over my other data set because I may want to go back to that one. So I'll call this one enjoy math 2. Okay, and now I can go ahead now. So that's now my selected data set, and I can go ahead and do another linear regression, and oops, got the other way around. Okay, and now look at, actually it's coming up and saying regression model 2 already exists, overwrite model, so yes. So now in this script you have a regression model 1 and a regression model 2. Notice it doesn't actually, in this case, change it very much. So right now I'm going to see how long this video has gotten before I go on with correlation. I may come back and do some more, or this may be the end of this video. Okay, one last note before I end the video. Go back and save your script again. You'll really want to get into the habit of this, especially for your project. Okay, so goodbye for this video.